baby steps, all the things. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are you?
Good
How was your
morning.
good morning, Miss Barbara?
Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm all in. I'm just hyped this morning. I got the good vibes. I think it some R&R on the weekend. It just felt so good. So good. I did not open my computer, not even once. I shut my office door, I powered it off, cleaned it out, the whole nine. Didn't open it once, not even until Sunday night. And I had a massage booked, so I didn't even actually look at the charts again until 8:15, which is a big deal for me, guys. It's huge. So, good morning, guys.
Yes, good for you. You deserve it.
I think all of us need that, you guys. All of us. But in theory, I am recording. In theory, everything is already locked and loaded perfectly, and nothing is going to go wrong. So, with that vibe, Miss Barbara, will you check our hearts and then we'll get started?
Yes, I will, Father, in the name of Jesus. Lord, we come before you, Father, thanking you, Lord, for all that you do and continue to do in our lives, Father. We thank you, Lord, for open doors. We thank you, Father, for your Holy Spirit that continues to guide us, that protects us, Father. We thank you, Lord, that you would continue to just give us the desires of our heart, Father. We thank you, Lord, that your word says, Father, that you would give us the desires of our heart. And we thank you, Father, that we just continue to just lean on your ways of doing things, Father, because your way is higher than our ways, Father. And we thank you, Lord, for all that you do. We give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Well, good morning, guys. Good morning, William, because you are always the special one in the chat, and good morning to everybody else too. You guys count too. He just counts a little more. He goes above and beyond. I'm joking a little bit. But David, thank you so much. I saw you posted that Bible verse. I've been listening. What is
Good
it?
morning.
First Chronicles, man, there's just so many and 12 sons and 12 generations and 12 sons and 12 generations and Moab and Sebab, and it's such a redundant chapter. So that's one of the ones I'm on right now, but yours is better, honestly, by far. Deuteronomy. So remember the Lord, see who gives you power to get wealth. I have a big post of that verse in my living room right now. A version of it. It's not the NKJV. It's remember that it's he who gives you power to, get wealth and to do that influence to do the things, and it is he who can take it away. So I love that one. That one speaks to me. Seriously. Seriously. But good morning, guys. Going through the charts and all the good things. Let's start from the beginning. Obviously, you guys already know. Please trade at your own risk. This is hard, but most of it's mental. It's difficult, but most of it's emotional. It's challenging, but I promise you, most of it is not the strategy. It's not the chart, it's not the pair, it's not the instrument, and I'm sad to say this out loud, but it's also not Trump. Um, it's your ability to be disciplined, it's your ability to make one mistake and not make that same mistake again so you can grow, right? It's to own those emotions and to recognize what those emotions are telling you. So that's that. Obviously, there's a lot of potential here, but there's a lot of risk. So trade what you can afford to lose and don't be buying a bunch of firms that you cannot afford to be losing them. On to prop firms. I do think prop firms are one of the easiest ways to make an income or at least get some capital going, uh, preferably to fund your own account. Like the plan should not be to stay here. Take Profit Trader is still my favorite by far, 10 to 1, 100 to 1, maybe even. But like everything else, there's a limitation. You only get 5 accounts. Of those 5 accounts, you can only make 20 grand, which isn't that much when you're really factoring in the percentages, the ins, the outs, the time involved, the cost of et cetera, before you move to live. So for 20 grand, then you're giving them 10% of what you're making anyways. That if you had it in your own account, you'd be making 100% versus 90%. So anyways, Take Profit Trader, they still have 30% off and no activation fee. There's rumors of the no activation fee going away. So if you have not already done so, please make sure you have at least one account with them. I think they are just the easiest payout policy of all of them put together. Apex, if you're trying to do something completely insane like me, come on the Apex bandwagon. It's 80% off, et cetera, and Blue Guardian if you're looking for Project X. So you guys know all that already, but of course we have to go over that. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to try to close down as much as I possibly can. Next, we keep receipts, guys. We are not perfect, don't claim to be, and don't plan to be. A lot of break even. This is not in order, but it was just easier for me to document them per, instrument versus back and forth, which is very time consuming. Um, this is not bad. Remember, the way you middle manage everything else that goes in and out of this trade is going to be everything. But overall, our Tuesday trades were great. Some of them moved exponentially farther. Of course, I missed NAS on Tuesday, or NQ, sorry. But we caught ES and we caught some other things. YM, I think, is one that chopped around and just gave everybody anxiety, but ultimately was a winner. Right? We're spoiled to think was always going to win. A lot of chop on Thursday.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Other than my Ninja Trader, that's a positive day even on Thursday, even with the chop on Thursday. The only deficit I felt or saw was the Ninja Trader malfunction stuff. So that's that. We will keep receipts from today as well. So save. Don't know why it asked me to save. We have only 5 minutes to opening bell. I'm actually looking at crude this morning. We're still kind of moving up a little bit. The only thing I'm not in love with is this big spring to the upside. Not a bad way to be. We're currently sitting at where market closed yesterday. So I don't think enough of us are trading YM to keep marking that up. So if we're going to have 4 instruments, for example, and I don't think we need any more than that, we definitely don't need to be adding 20 pairs or Forex pairs or platinum and silver, all the things that you're not trading. But I think
I'm checking my microphone. Can you hear me, Jenny?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're just running through it all real quick before opening bell happens. But okay, so I'm gonna move my mic closer as well. But that's that. So I think I'm gonna stick kind of with crude, NQ, ES, and gold. If there's something you desperately love or want to trade, by all means, we'll put it on our list. But otherwise, one trade is all you need in a day. One good trade is all you need. So that's crude. I love how we're still making higher highs. Okay, so we're definitely in an upward trend. This nice little wick to the downside and failure to make highs. I'd be looking to come take out some of these next levels before we get the sell down, or of course to break that trend line before to sell down. So gold was beautiful. This is the 30-minute time frame just because it's a little easier to see. We're sitting above where market closed yesterday, but overnight action was very up and down, not a lot of major moves comparatively to what we've been seeing in overnight action anyways. So right now we're kind of pushing down with a wick to the downside. Overall, the market has a lot of room to go up. We've got this nice little double bottom. We've got quite a bit of confluence, really crooked, double-headed shoulder deal. And this obviously, there's quite a bit of liquidity up to the upside. So we're going to do our best to not let our bias get in the way. We're going to trade what we see and go from there. But big picture, I'd love to see this go up. Smaller picture, I don't mind if this, wicks either way. And man, ES and NQ are moving without me. I did catch a little bit on ES this morning using my pre-market 6 FTC breakout, kind of waited for JGS to confirm as well, but caught this little bit of a move, went and messed with the dog a little bit and came back in, and now here we are. So we've wicked up, we filled that liquidity, and it looks like we're coming down. Pre-market lows are my next targets. Nice, huge imbalance here, and then yesterday's low. If we manage to get below those, we're trying to take out overnights, okay? And as you guys know, there's a huge imbalance here, huge imbalance here. So I think a lot of the big people are saying we're looking for sells on the indices this week, but that just means they might try to manipulate and shake us out a little bit. So that's ES. And of course, the tried and true is NQ. We're already breaking pre-market lows. Actually, this counts as pre-market, sadly. And we are just booming down. So it's going to be hard to catch a falling knife. Very, very hard. 2 minutes to opening bell. I don't have a little bell in here. I'm gonna go down to the 2 minute. After we look for a couple of trades, I know Robert has a lot of like 500 screenshots of some of the different things that he's experiencing with Breakout, and I was trying to show him pending orders. So what I'd like to do, if we can, I'm in a paper trading account here, is just show you some different ways to use that Breakout indicator. But man, this is taking off without me, and I'm crying. Who's in this? Who's in that cell? Please tell me somebody's doing so great, because I'm not. That's all I need on the day.
I am.
That's it, Barbara. You can lead this class. You can lead this. No, no.
I am into.
That's it. You too. Okay. You guys are going to be buying the cruise, okay? And the Maserati and all the things that YouTube people do. No, please don't buy a Maserati. Do you? But I mean, you can buy me a Maserati. No, actually, I really don't want a Maserati. I honestly don't, because I would be so bad. I've had a really nice sports car in the past, and I'll probably get my dream car when Nathan Noah, is no longer a driving factor in my life. But until then, I don't want that problem. I do not want it. Okay, so here we go. We're on the 2-minute time frame. I'm hoping we don't just pop down to this level for opening bell, but I'm on ES. NQ obviously is going to be the faster mover. ES is a little bit more manageable. Some of my best trades and best like holding, doing better there is all on ES. Oh, okay. Might give us a chance to enter. We're retesting. We're right above that VWAP on the 1 minute for NQ. Point of control. One thing at a time. One at a time.
Then what can I do to get rid of these D's that be on my symbols that am I doing something wrong? Or
Yes, don't trade those if you have a D.
how do I get to update it?
You need to log into one of your, you can log into, as long as you have some subscription linked to TradingView that has live data, like your Apex accounts or your Take Profit Trader accounts, link it once, and then you can even log into paper trade and you're good for like 5 or 10 days or something like that. I don't know exactly how many, but
I'm on the paper trading, but it still has a D. So, and
that's,
with Tradovate, that account was blown. So, am I still able to use that data until at least I think 20?
I can't say how that part works. Like, so if you log in to that, I'm 90% sure, I'm not 100, that when you log in, you get like 7 to 10 days worth of, hey, you logged into some broker that gives you live feed. And other than that, I can't say. So either way, all I'm telling you is don't trust that price action and don't try to place a trade on that chart.
Well, I don't have any live accounts, that I can place a trade, but I wanted to do some paper trading too. I was going to open up another Tradovate. Now, the other one, the wealth chart's not tied to TradingView, correct?
Well, charts is not, no. But I
Okay.
did get a gleaming recommendation from somebody who I love and trust. She is using wealth charts and she loves it. She says there's some features in there I really want that if I keep running into the problems I'm running into, I might try it. But for now, again, I want to, my goal is bigger than this because I can trade my own money. Like I can do that just fine on one account. I can trade on one Tradovate account. There's not a lot of value in me doing all this prop firm stuff if that's how I'm going to do it because I can already flip money quick enough and have enough capital to make a reasonable amount of money back from the markets. The only value for me in doing all these prop firms is if I can mirror the lot of them. That is where the value comes in for me. So sticking with Tradovate seems to be, at least currently, the only way to do so.
Jenny, can you have her to DM me, or because I need someone that I can connect with, because I did like wealth charts, but I feel like I was just a loner with it. So if she's can you connect me with her or her with me, or if it's not a problem?
I will ask her permission if she doesn't mind, and if she doesn't, I will definitely send you the information or send her your information. Deal?
Don't forget about me. Thank you, man. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. And hey, speaking of you, real quick, guys, I need you to know I love. There's quite many of you I really, really super value, super love that I'm close to. But please, please know there's no way I can keep up with all those messages. Go broke out. Like I don't do a lot of DMs mostly because I can't honor you with any bit of a response. There's no way I can. The few times I'm present, I catch it. If I'm not present, it doesn't pop up at the right spot. I miss it. Um, there's a lot of messages, and then it's not even people. A lot of it's spam too. A lot of it's just fake accounts and fake nonsense. So
That's understandable, Jen. That's why when I left the message, I said, I know you're very busy. If and when, and if you do get to it, then, but it's there for you at your convenience.
absolutely, thank you. All
You
right, guys, I'm looking to buy this. This is going to give us a very late. It didn't even buy. I was hoping to do the paper trade. Nope, it didn't work. Go figure. Long. Gonna be very late, but I'm longing gold. Okay. Make sure I'm in the right account. Very, very late. But I think it's a good trade. So I'm going to come back to NQ. It's still bouncing around. I think it's very hard to sell where it's at, honestly. So very late entry, awful, horrible, and treacherous entry. And I'm going to miss NQ with all this stuff happening. Okay. So I'm in gold. Gold is going up right now. Okay. Gold is going up. And we're good. I'm going to hold that and I'm going to go to NQ. I'm going to sit out on NQ just because we just hit pre-market low and I don't want to get wicked into a bad entry. I need a bit of a retracement after that size of a move. I would risk it on ES mostly because there's a little bit more room to next lows to at least capitalize, whereas on NQ, there is some room, but this is a very expensive pullback if this does need to pull back. So I don't want to take that chance. I'm in gold though, and gold is going just fine. So see if we can't capitalize on that up $200 and growing. So that just automatically popped up to kind of protect. I do need to adjust the settings. It's not saving very well when I'm adjusting the settings on Tradovate. So it's kind of baby steps right now. NQ is trying to push back down and I'm going to miss it. But I'm okay with gold right now. I'm totally okay with that. So that's $400. Mirrored between all, oh my gosh, it's not mirroring. It's only on one account. That's rude. Very, very rude. What a brat. But I'm doing a lot of safety precautions to make sure I save me from me and from technology. Let that push up a little bit. I'm gonna go to ES. So that's at 440. Only on one account, sadly. And then here we are sitting on ES. Didn't get any bit of a pullback, so I just don't want to sell here. Not to say it wouldn't win. It's not a chance. There's no good place for me to manage that. Oh, it's gonna knock us out. Out. Out with about $120 because of how I have it set. So it popped up all the way. Did I capitalize on that? No. No, I didn't. Because I went to go look at ES. But overall, beautiful trade. I would consider re-entering to come take these next levels. But let's see if we can't pull back a little bit. And ES and NQ are pulling, NQ is pulling back, which is what we wanted to see. So here we go. Back on gold. I think the max we were up was 440. I got 120 out of it. 120. But it's okay because I wasn't mirroring between a lot of accounts. So it's one account, a little bit of profit, and protected because it's hard to manage this many things. ES is back down. Wicked up beautifully. All right. I'm going to sell ES. I'm selling ES. Risky position. Very, very risky because there's a lot of room here. We're selling into pre-market low. We have our other lows a little bit further down. I don't want to give it too much room. Of course, you can use that 50% mark. I'm going to tap that pretty much instantly, or of course you can use the other side. Right now, my stop loss is all the way up in this range just from where it automatically set. So sitting floating with 230, and I'm going to adjust that stop loss a little bit. Let's see how this candle closes. Nope, it's probably going to make me, it's going to knock me out. And of course, this one is mirroring between all the accounts. Isn't that how it goes? Trying, but jumped in, jumped out. Trader A, that's something I keep, when I go back through my trades, I know I'm trading very cautiously, mostly due to some of the rules with some of these prop firms, but it really stinks to see you take this buy, for example, and it's not bad that I got this much of it, but the problem is this much didn't hit that goal on the day or whatever else, so it's making me go take another trade or a different trade, right? If I had just taken this and held it to whatever level, to the high or to the high even, I would be in a much different position versus having to go get another trade. I'd be done. But I think trading that way also requires willingly taking more losses. It's pushing up. You unmuted, you can come out.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Fine.
Yeah, I haven't a lot of times I haven't gotten the confidence to just sit and hold them like that. I'm more cautious. Is either it's gonna go really quickly or maybe I just get out and maybe try again.
That it's, I think for me, it's also I've really thought about this in terms of how to maximize those rules. We're coming up real close on this level. I can't just use an 8 because, like, take for example, if you did enter in at the close of this candle, I mean, this one obviously plays out well, but if you enter in at the close of this candle, waiting for the close of another candle, you're in a whole nother ball game of a problem. Like, so I'm by candle on the trade I took last night for um, that breakout, it would have been just fine. But a lot of times by candle even won't work because this is real price action isn't always this perfect.
Exactly.
It's in fact, we love seeing these moves when we go to back test or when we go to prove a point, but this move is not what we end up trading most of the time. So that's a mess.
Yeah, and it's kind of even choppy right now. I mean,
It is. When we pop back down to this level, so I'm real close to entry. When we pop back down, I want to just take a break even if I need to, because I don't want us to get whipped around. I'd rather take a small win than I'd like to see if I can't manage this, because I don't want it to come all the way back up here and take the full $300 or whatever it is loss, because that's a stupid loss. And look at those springs we have to the downside. I think we're going to tap the pre-market low, but it's just no.
yeah, I just put the alarm on the bottom of the indicator just to kind of test that out because that way, if I'm watching something else on one of the instruments, it's just so I can see how that works. So
I
I
wanted
won't
to
miss
see
it.
why the breakout thing didn't happen. The trade didn't go on. Oh, there it is. Because I was going to show you guys on a video so I could also send it to Robert. I don't know if he's on right now, but let me see. Because he had questions in terms of some of the pendings. I'm looking for you in the chat. But he's not on right now. And it just didn't appear. So I wonder if it appeared on gold now that we refreshed the chart. It probably did appear on gold. I don't know, hold. This is just paper trading. These are not the actual trades, obviously. Obviously, guys. I like gold to kind of give us a nice wick down because there's no really fair value gap or anything right there. I like gold to kind of push down a little bit more, however much it needs. Retest and then buy it again. NQ still looks just as ugly, but because it moves more, it would have been a little easier. Oh, there's also lower. Yes. Still got a wick to that 50%, which we like. But I don't love this trade. So as soon as I'm closer to profit, you guys can see my entry is, what is that? 5960. 5960. So it's right in that range. I like this wick, but all these are a lot of rejections, so we don't love that. What about oil? Oil pulling back. Lows. Man, that was clean. Anybody take that oil trade this morning? I think oil is a little bit smoother. Something to look at, potentially. It has the potential to be. I'm at break even, barely. I know the second I drag this in, I'm just going to get knocked out. We like that bearish candle that's forming. We've got a minute left on it, but the other candles that formed that way all just wicked back up. So we don't want to get trapped in that. It was too low. There's too much oomph this morning. Watch it wick around and then tank after everyone gets out. Who thinks that's what's going to happen? It's going to wick around and then tank.
Of course. That's why I'm trying to wait for the 15 minutes now.
5 minute. Pushing back up again. Even the 5 minute has just wicked out twice. And for the 15 minute, we just got our 15-minute range. So we're sitting below the 15-minute range. Very, very much. Got our little pullback.
Good morning. This would have been in that consolidation since like the end of Asian or like towards the latter part of Asian yesterday all the way into London. So it's everything is showing that could potentially be going down, but it's still consolidating at this point. On that, if we're looking at at least a 15-minute time frame, you'll definitely see that consolidation.
We haven't really went anywhere, yeah.
Mm.
We popped up, popped down, but just nowhere really. Yes. We're trying now. I am going to lock it this time, knowing I'm probably going to get knocked out. I'm trying to give it room, guys, but I don't think this particular setup is worth the full amount of risk. If this was a great A plus, I don't even like that concept, but if this was a great trade, it's different, but there's too much already indecision overnight, too many wicks to the downside. I really want to drop it, but we all know the second I drop it, I'm out. And if I don't drop it, we also know it's going to happen too. There we go. Push down. Little bit of patience. We're coming up on that low. That's the low. We just took that out. And what I have, provided the indicators are working properly, is any account that I'm only going for a little bit per day, those are mirroring at 2 or 3 micros. And then when I hit whatever that goal is, 2 or 300, see my stop loss pulled back down a little bit closer now. It's going to trail a little bit tighter. That's just the settings on Tradovate, and now I'm out. Patience, but man, that was choppy. And that's the trade. Patience. And there goes NQ. And there goes gold. Gold is breaking out of the 15-minute time frame beautifully. I'd be looking, it's going to be expensive, but if you were looking for another entry, I'd be coming to look to take pre-market high. And of course, the one range. But that's an expensive trade because it's, gosh, I'm guessing our exit wasn't too bad. Because look, we're pulling up. Not bad. Better than on gold. Not bad at all. So 2 good trades. Took 10 minutes. Now the hardest part is not to want to trade again. That's the hardest part. I think we are going to keep pushing down though. But back to gold, I do think you've got some room. It's just going to be very expensive. It's going to be a very expensive ask. So if that's something you really want or feel like you really need, by all means, you do you boo boo. Same thing with NQ. ES, I think there's a lot of money on the table to the downside. A lot. So if you're in your FX accounts or you're trading a single micro, by all means, there's an imbalance. If I go to the 30-minute time frame, turn off all of the noise, I'd be looking, we've got just a ton of targets here.
Jenny, do you use, did you use trailing stops much or no?
I do, for better and for worse. So honestly, it protects my accounts, especially given all the things that I'm kind of testing and working with right now. But it's a double-edged sword. So on a trade like I posted two in the public Discord just for discussion. Um, ES overnight. So
Yeah,
ES,
that's what I was referring to because I asked you, you see you had to go walk the puppies or something?
I did, but I still don't trust the orders disappearing. So that's what I'm trying to get better at that. But at least when you do the bracket order on Tradovate, orders disappear properly. If I was just trading one account, that is what I would do. The both orders disappear, like the pending buy or pending sell kind of thing. Those are gone. I don't have to worry about them ghost painting. I should have, could have, would have got more, but puppy was fussing, and I'm trying not to trade as much. I'm trying not to be on my charts as much or working as much either. So I caught just a small amount. I think I missed the bigger portion of this candle very transparently. I caught like the small amount and missed this. And then same thing with the image I posted this morning for pre-market. I caught more of that one. I caught a pretty good amount, almost like to the tip of the wick, a very good amount of that trade. But that one I was present for, I was gonna get back up at what 850 or something like that to go and do my couple of things I do before I jump on this call. So I do, but it depends on how price action acts because this is a 30-minute time frame. But if we go down to the two, like for example, if we sold here, I mean, good sell, right? If you locked profits, like let's say that this wick to the downside triggered your lock profit, you probably got knocked out here if it was too tight. And then same thing of instead of just taking your entry with a flat stop loss and take profit, I will say that the system needs work. It is not perfect. It's just sufficient for me to test what I'm trying to test right now. But again, back to the scenario, lock profit probably knocked you out by here, even if you had the perfect entry. That's number one. Number two, your trailing stop. Let's say you entered here, lock profit, and didn't get hit, so you caught all of this. Rather than just hitting your target, like let's say you were targeting the lows, this little area of interest, as I call it. Oh wow, that just evaporated all that. I was gonna leave that open. Of course, this one's not. I'm gonna close that. Not a bad way, and that's way later than we entered too. Way, way later than we entered. I have to refresh this though for the demo account to, it's really weird how that works. The paper trades don't, it doesn't update properly. But back to you, JD. If you had just taken this trade and done and just took your profits rather than waiting for it to pull back up, the difference is astronomical. So you sold here, you locked profits fine. If you had just taken your profits versus had your trailing stop knock you out way over here, that sucks. Because that is what happens most often. And mine are pretty good.
Well, how much do you normally trail behind me, chicks?
Um, hold on. I'm doing something. Please forgive me.
No, take your time. I
Oh
told you I don't
shoot.
like talking to you when you doing live trading, so no, you can come back to me anytime.
I'm gonna try. If I can figure out what I was just doing. I clearly cannot.
The big push up there.
Uh-huh. That's why I didn't want to, that's why I was like, I want to protect it. I was trying to be patient, but I didn't want this to happen. So we were pretty blessed. We got a big portion of this, but this is what I was trying my best to avoid. Okay, I should be going to look at that. Look at that buy, man. Got it. Got it, got it. Took a second, but I did get it. Okay, we got our two trades. We don't need more than that, guys. But yeah, to your point, the settings that I'm currently using are kind of I'm locking after, depending on what instrument, 4 or 5 points. And then obviously depending on what instrument, that's a big deal. And then of course, after I'm up, 5, 10 points, depending on the instrument, 15, 20 points, I'm trailing it pretty quickly. So after I'm up about a 1 to 1, 1.5 to 1, where my risk would be, now I'm saying, hey, every 2 points it moves up, I'm going to trail that by 2 points. So I'm giving up 4 points with how I'm trading that. But look at that. Gold just passed my 50K account. Good job. You can keep it, David. It's okay. Like, we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna make mistakes. No way around that. At all. Ask me how I know. Let's see. I'm going to
Jenny,
try.
just going back to what I asked you about the young lady, you can let her know. I'm not trying to blow up her DM. I just want to know, get her insight on what she really thinks about it, because like I said, I'm about to apply, get some more either Trader 8 or Wealth Chart, if not both, challenges. And I just wanted to, just know somebody else was doing it as well with the
Well, like if you're going to do Tradovate, if your goal is to use um if your goal is to use trading view, if your goal is to kind of copy and all those other things, then you probably need to stick with Tradovate.
okay. Okay.
Like, so you're not in a bad place doing that. It's just going to be a learning curve. But if you want to do like, hey, look, this is my goal is just this, then by all means, then go with wealth charts. But at the end of the day, it depends on what your goal is. Because wealth charts, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't log into TradingView.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I
All
don't
right.
know whether it logs into I think it might do Ninja Trade. I'm not sure. I've got to double check.
All right, guys. This is where I'm at on the day. So you can see kind of just all of the I'm doing only a couple of micros, okay, on most of the accounts except for the couple of bigger ones. If I rotate that from big to small, that top one is just the one I'm mirroring with. That's why it's out of order. But what I've found, okay, because again, if I'm going to talk mess, I want to also talk good, is when I take the trade on Tradovate, it doesn't seem to be switching the direction of the order. So that's good. Okay. I'm also restarting it every time I use it. I'm also refreshing it every time I take a certain trade. No big, big things to write home about, but $5,000 on the day, I can make this astronomically high. I can do like 50 grand on the day, but it doesn't matter if I can't keep it or if there's system glitches. I am missing gold right now. Oh my gosh, look at that trade. Look at that trade. That's wild. Hold on. Let's put this back over here. That is wild. Boom. That's awesome. Is anybody still holding gold? Did anybody take gold? Well, so David passed his 50K challenge.
I just caught it.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
It's a nice one.
That was clean. See,
Yeah,
that's the trade you want.
that sucker just hit my TP nicely.
That's the trade you want.
Gold's been good to me, Jenny.
I have been liking gold a lot during PM session, especially. Like gold is good. Okay, if you made money on ES, NQ, or whatever gold, please put it in the chat. I am probably going to take one more position on ES down, judging by how this has moved up. We're feeling a bit of a short-term imbalance now as we speak, but I think we're going to try to take that low. Or this is a nice little. We got 52 seconds left on this hourly candle. I'm not going to sell into that, actually. So no, I'm not going to. And here's why. Yes. So the reason I don't want to sell into it is we're coming up on a new hourly candle. We've got 32 seconds left on this hourly candle. If my biggest hypothesis is we're moving to the downside, the next chart or the next candle will likely be doing what? It'll be pushing up a little bit, right? So I'd be looking to maybe, if I really needed the scalp or was trying to hit a PNL or something, I'd be looking to find with one of the methods or strategies I'm using a short-term very, buy or a scalp even to the sell side, but I'd be looking for the short-term move, not the bigger picture move. Because this nice spring to the downside, I'd be looking to come up a little bit before we sell down. But big picture stuff, of course, I would like to see it sell down. If confirmed, right? But just so you know why I decided no, I don't want to take that sell. But we are at the 10 o'clock hour now, so that first 30-minute range has been formed. First 30-minute range. This was choppy. This was close. Gold was perfect. All right, if you made, of course it's going to sell too. If you made any money on gold or yes or any of the trades, please put it in the chats. It's going to help the groups. I'll take a screenshot. Pretty please. I would super appreciate it. I'm going to pull up my chat and I'm going to pull up my Discord. I'm going to be patient on this. Although we already have two trades, two good trades. Gold didn't close out with as much profit on my case, but total move is, I don't know, 7-1. And it's still going. Still going. And then NAS and them are dropping. Dropping. Nice little flag setup. We retested that 20 moving average. That's not a very good trend line by any means, but it's only 2 touches. Only 2. All right, did anybody make any money? Can you put it in the chats, do all the things? And then I'm going to show you guys something in terms of pending orders or answer any questions that you guys have. Good job. This indicator made it super easy to trade options. Zoom user, what's your
Hey,
name?
Jimmy.
Hey.
Hey, can you show how it is that on TradingView that we can set TP and stop loss by moving? Yeah, how we can do it on MT5 once you open up the trade?
Yep.
Can we do that on TradingView? Because I cannot figure it out. I've tried it on YouTube and I can't find it.
It's not going to be exactly like you think. Unfortunately. But okay, got that. There's that buy up that we wanted to see. Close that, got that out. I was talking to somebody about using it for options. I was actually talking to my developer about it yesterday. So my last developer, I'm for TradingView and stuff. We got another one. We hired one, and I'm very excited. Hopefully, very large part of the team moving forward. But baby steps, of course. But this guy is a guy of integrity. I've known him from a couple of other places, and I like him as a person, which is the most valuable trait in my opinion. So I was talking to him about the use of this in terms of, especially as we automate and do the things that we're doing for options. So I can imagine that for options, this would change the game because the guy who I hired to help me build the Dragonfly, he does mostly options to the tune of about 25K a month and then runs the Dragonfly. That's it. Now, granted, he's not playing with baby money, but yeah, that's all he does is options. He doesn't do like futures or anything else. Never really did Forex either. But I'm going to go to an instrument we don't have any trades on. So dollar amounts, everything else, not important. Okay. Actually, let's go to YM because we don't have any markups on here either. So the first thing I'm going to do is I guess I'm going to go the 15-minute time frame because that's where the bigger box is at. Actually, now I'm going to go to 30 because now we've got the biggest box that hasn't been hit yet. So we've got our 2 trades. Of course, you guys know I would be looking for a short-term move before the bigger term move on indices. Gold has moved up exponentially well. Beautiful trade. Only caught a baby small amount of it. If you made profits, please post them on all the Discords and the groups or the chats. And then if you have questions, put them in the chat. So something I want to answer, then hopefully turn into a short or a clip, is how to place these pending orders. The first thing I'm going to say is if we're using this literally at face value, it's not that hard. Now, because we're on a paper trading account, we're gonna have to refresh between every time I do this, which that kind of stinks a lot, but it is what it is, so we're gonna do it. So we're refreshed, okay? We're on the 30-minute, we're on YM, okay? I can decide how much I want to risk on this account. So let's say I'm willing to risk $1,000. That's still not even enough, as I'm on the 30-minute. Oh, one contract. So all that's telling me is if I use the whole amount as a stop loss, okay, then that's what the contract size I'm going to be using. But all I would need to do is come up here slightly above this green line. So never on it. Okay, we don't want to get wicked or ticked in. And again, I don't trade on TradingView, so that's another thing too. But I would be putting my buy stop because I'd be buying and it didn't appear yet. So I'm going to have to save it again, refresh, and now it should appear there. And I don't know why that is. It's only happening really with paper trading accounts, but it always does that. So now if price comes up to this point and even taps it, I'm going to be in the buy. Because this is paper trading, I can use my stop loss like this, okay, or whatever. But if you're on an actual account from a prop firm, that feature isn't there. If you're trading your own live money, that feature is there. Okay, if you're trading on your AMP account, you can actually do that. So that's kind of cool, right? I do want to delete that before we end up with a problem though. Boo. Now I'm going to make a mistake. Refresh that. This is going to be time consuming on a paper trading account. So I'm going to close that. Well, actually, I'm going to leave that all the way up here to show you. That's where I'd be putting my take profit. My stop loss. Anybody know why I have to refresh every time if I'm on paper trading? That buy is playing out really well, that little scalp buy. Okay, my stop loss, I can decide I'm going to put it at that 50% mark. A little bit less than a 2-to-1, right? That's an option. And remember, this is only going to activate once price gets up here. This is not existent unless price gets up here. So this is not here yet, which is kind of cool. Again, that's not going to work that way if you're trading on a prop firm. So that's irrelevant information at this point. But for the most part, most of us are using our stop loss on the other side of the range. Okay, that's how we're doing it. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. God, I hate that. Goodness, goodness. But does everybody see how you're placing that pending order? Now, I'm not saying that's the best way to do it. I'm saying that does solve, especially if you're on a bigger time frame, so not the 1 minute or the 2 minute. It's definitely not a bad way to be. Remember, you're going to want to set it at least a little bit outside of that green line, not exactly on that green line for sure. And that's it. You could, of course, decide I'm only going to go for 50% of that target. You could decide all kinds of stuff. Ultimately, it's going to be up to you. Once you're in profit, you can say, hey, I'm going to drag my stop loss up and I'm going to let this, keep going and drag your take profit up. But the options are endless. So sadly, I have to refresh again. Ijama, did you take ES too? And I hate TradingView. I'll also say again, I don't trade on TradingView. There's a lag in fill of prices. And if you're trying to do stuff on a bigger scale, especially if you're trying to trade minis or, you're trying to trade in a particular way, I don't think it's the best place to be. And then it's not just my expert opinion. It's quite a few other people's expert opinions. Sonia, come on out. Sonia, your hand is raised before I go any further on this. Peekaboo.
No,
Hi, Sonia.
no, that was so quick. I wasn't even ready.
Oh, you're a little bit muffled. Can you get a little closer to the microphone so I can hear you clearly?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, I'm not sure if it's on topic. I think it is, but I've got a few questions that are really pressing that are really getting on my nerves, to be honest. Can I ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
For example, you were saying a bit earlier you're going to take NQ, right? And I didn't have that on my list. So I went to the symbol finder and I saw NQ1 exactly like you have it. But then a bit further down, I saw the contract that said June, and it come out as MNQ 20 I mean 202. And I thought we were supposed to, when we look for them, find the relevant contracts. Is that not right?
Yeah, somebody more smart than me can probably tell you the difference in one and two. I wish I knew. I honestly don't.
No, what I mean is, so where you're hovering now, isn't it the third one down? Because we're approaching June. Do you see what I mean? That one.
This right here would be the closest to price action, but watch, before I click on that, if I go to the monthly view, okay, and I just refresh my chart, see how I have all of the data? If
Yes.
I go now to NQ 2025 or June 2025,
Yep.
and we add that now to the chart, we don't have all that data.
Oh,
So for my purposes, this price action is going to be a little bit, potentially be a little bit better, a little bit closer, a little bit more exact for people like who are trading different contracts. But for the most part, this is going to be dead on. Okay. Very, very close to perfect. Okay. But this allows me to see everything. And for like the long-term purposes, I want to be on NQ1. I don't know if anybody else can inform us what the difference is in NQ2. I honestly don't know. Honestly, so I have just no idea. No
okay.
idea what
Well,
NQ2 is. But on the minis, it's really important because if you go here and I go to NQ, well, let's go to MNQ. I guess I could do MNQ1 on this, but MNQ1, I don't have that on here for whatever reason. Also doesn't have as much, and neither do these either. These will all expire. MNQ, MNQ. So this has a little bit more.
okay, so you're saying one way of checking then is to go to the monthly and to see how much data there is.
Well, look, on the minis, on the micros, there's not going to be that much previous data. So this
Okay.
is the MNQ1. Look, there's not as much. And then MNQ 2025, there's even less.
Yeah,
This is
those are
the
actually the launch dates for the micros for those instruments.
So why, Scott, maybe you know, what is the difference in the one and the two? Do you know?
No, I don't.
I don't know either, yeah. I don't know.
So question, if you were on the wrong one, would it still let you place the trade?
No, it might, which is not a good thing. So, I don't know if TradingView is going to be a good example of this, but I was doing this with crude oil or crude earlier, so CLN5. Um, the best example I have without going to click around and define one is this. These are normal candles, right? This is what candles look like.
Yep.
You're going to know that you're on the wrong contract because it's going to look exponential. Oh, of course, that's perfect price action right now. So that's not going to work. Let's do crude oil. This is the one I literally clicked on, so. CL, oh, go figure, that's so clean too. Don't you love it when there's a bad example? There
Like,
you go. This is
yeah.
what it's going to look like. And if it looks like this, you shouldn't be trading this instrument because you can't see this price.
Oh, absolutely. That's a mess, that is.
And
Okay.
because you don't always know, like on crude, I'm not a very big crude person, so I don't know a lot about it, but I can tell you when I put on CLM, this is what it looked like. So I knew, nope, I'm going to keep looking. The one I currently have on my take profit trader is CLN.
CLN.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, I never had crude up until so I just copied yours to see, and I appear to have an active chart. So I was going to stick with that one. But I kind of saw what you've been doing, so I'll have to just double check the ones that I've got to see if they're the active contract.
Okay, deal. So this is, did we mark? Yeah, this is the one we marked up. I just think most of us aren't trading enough of YM. So I think if I'm going to look at 4 pairs, I mean, YM is good too. It does give us some divergence, or people don't even use it as divergence, but it gives us an idea of what some of the other big companies are doing, and that's cool. But overall, we're not trading it very often. So if I'm going to pick my 4, it's going to be gold, ES, NQ, and crude for classes and stuff. YM is fine. Bitcoin, some brokers offer. Big number on this is 92,000.
Okay.
I want to go ahead.
I have a really bad burning question. You know, oh my God, I've been trying to put on, obviously, because I'm in London. I just wanted to watch the Breakout, etc. And I've been messing with the time zone and I cannot get the, what would you call it, the indicator to come on at the beginning of London. So I was hoping you can help me work out the times because I've got the UTC at the bottom of my screen and it says +1. But in the indicator, I've messed around with it so much and it's still not coming out. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Okay, so yours is currently +1, and so you're using Dublin time, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And when you come to the chart, is this the right time for you? Because like right now where I live, it's 10:15 a.m. So when you hover over the current candle, is that proper to your time?
Give me 1 second. Hover over the current candle. Now, yes, it is.
Okay. So then your +1 is good. Now, the hard part is I'm going to put back on our indicators. What time does your clock say when I hover over my 9:30?
1 second, where's your 9:30? Oh.
So like what time is New York open for you? So if New York open is 9:30 my time, what time is it your time?
2:30 in the afternoon.
So it's 2:30, right?
Yes.
So that what I'm going to have you try is go in there and type in 14:30. Have you tried that?
I did, because I had that, for some reason I thought that was a good idea. So in London, put 14:30, you mean, or New York? Which one do you mean?
So and you can call this yo-yo. Okay, you can call this whatever you want, but make sure it's clicked to on and then put this at 14:30 and see if the box appears in the same spot where my box is. Because if it's my time is 9:30, your time is 2:30 p.m.
I already have 2:30 written in the New York box. It's still
Okay.
not coming, it's still not coming on the chart.
Okay, so let's back up. You have it checked, yes.
Yes.
Label is insignificant. This says 14.30, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's on. So,
Yes.
okay. And now click around a little bit. Let's see if you can't get it to register.
Currently, as I speak, it says London, but it's come on. So in my London box, I have 0900, i.e. 9 o'clock in the morning. But
Okay.
right now, on the same chart that you've got, the indicator is saying London, and that is so wrong. So New York hasn't come up, and London did not come up at 9 o'clock either. So I don't know why it's not working or what I've done wrong.
Okay, so let me see. Refresh.
I'm going to share my screen so you can see it, or is that not helpful?
Do you have you have the eyeball turned on, right?
Let me go back. Eyeball, where are you? Yes, the eyeball's on.
Okay, so when you scroll back, you should see some box, right? So you have some box on your screen at some time, right? If you just scroll back,
Yes, I have some box on my screen.
what time is it coming up on your screen?
So for yesterday, it came up at 20:30, so 8:30, and that was the New York, 8:30 p.m.
And you have the setting in here set to your time, which is +1.
Hang on,
Right
am
here
I-
it says +1
where's here?
on the
There,
settings.
yes. Double check that. Oh, well, it's now on 2 because I've had enough, but 1 didn't work either. I'll put it back to 1. Yeah, nothing. This is really disappointing because wanted to watch it on Friday and yesterday, and so I've been playing with it, and nothing makes it come up so far.
Okay, so this just so we get a chance to actually go over some of like the uses of this breakout and then like the pending orders, I'm gonna suggest that you schedule an appointment with Joe. He'll help kind of make sure that's all set up properly and kind of go through whatever settings that maybe you need to figure out that are not functioning the way that you think that they are. It's probably something minutely small, like incredibly small, like probably frustratingly so small.
Okay. So how do I get in touch with Joe?
If you go to the public Discord, then you'll be able to see. So if you're a 6FTC member or not, you'll be able to kind of look for @Joe in the Discord, and you'll be able to see it there.
I'm not in the Discord though because I'm not 6XFT.
Okay,
So
then just
Uncle
join
Steve,
just join the free public Discord. Then there's a free public one in there, and then you'll be able to see it there.
okay, all right.
Miss Brika just posted it in the chat. This way you can book a session with him. But okay, I do want to go over this because I think it's going to help a lot of people. So just for a couple of minutes, if you have any other questions, by all means, come out. I do think this is going to buy up a little bit, take out some of that. But we'll see how this candle closes. 7 minutes left on this 15-minute candle. Forming pretty bullish right now, but we'll see. We'll see. Wick down a couple of times first. See if we get a body on that. But not talking about trades for a few minutes, talking about just actual settings. I don't want to spend a lot of time like using that pending option here because it's not super effective. But when you take a buy to the person who asked, right? When you take a buy, what you're trying to do is if you're buying this, you need a sell stop to get out and a sell stop to get out. Any buy is only canceled out with a sell. And the same thing, any sell is only canceled out with a buy, right? So what that would look like, and on this broker, it's going to be a complete pain in the butt. On this particular, let's use annotate, actually. Annotate's going to be the way to go. We'd put a pending buy here and a pending sell. Once we're activated, we would reverse that in terms of, okay, that's your stop loss, etc. So if you're selling here, this literally just becomes your stop loss, and then you drop your pending, because you sold here, your pending buy or your pending sell. And that's exactly how this is going to look. It's very, very simple. If you find that target's not getting hit often enough or we're in a more consolidating market, cool, you guys can use the halfway points instead. If you find, hey, market goes much beyond that line, I'm trading on a smaller time frame, cool. You can decide, hey, I'm going to lock profit and then drag my take profit up. Okay. But ideally, you literally only need one trade. Maybe you go for 2 in the day or 2 in the session, but you don't need 50 trades. And hopefully that clarifies that up even for Robert. So I'll make sure I send this video to him because this is if you're breaking out. Now, granted, if price has already come up and down and up and down and up and down, like this, it's a whole different trade. By the time you've popped up and down multiple times, this is a no trade day. or at least not on this pair anyways, okay? At least not on that instrument. It's a no trade moment because you've already showed that you're consolidating for a great length of time. We're not trying to trade at that point anymore. So hopefully that answers some of those questions of how to use that particular feature.
So Jenny, that line that I put right there, that's a line of demarcation in reference to getting in the buy or the sell area, correct?
Yeah, so I can have the, and I'll make a note in the little Excel thing we're running right now. If I wanted this simple, I wanted this to have contract size and ticks in the center of the box. That's how it's currently designed. But if it's going to make it a little bit cleaner for you guys, I can put the order that says, or I can put the label that says sell order, okay, and then put, 119 ticks, for example, buy order, okay. This it's still 119 ticks, but depending on the new version has it to where you can make this your stop loss, so that'll be a little bit different. But if that's going to help, and then have you put take profit and take profit. But I
Okay.
want
Okay,
to,
yeah, but the way you just did it like that, because the dots in the middle or the slashes in the middle, that's just an area if you that's more of if you're that gives you a higher risk, correct? In a sense of a word, or the other two areas a little more safer entries, if I were to put it like that.
this is just in layman's terms, guys, this is only marking up 50% of the range. The range is only marking up the distance of the candle based off of the time frame or the settings that you're using. That's all it's doing. This is literally, this is no different than me putting a box around this candle right here. Okay. That's all it's doing. So it's taking the high and the low, okay? The highest most part and the lowest most part of whatever candle time frame you have it set on, and it's making a box. This is telling you that's how many ticks it is, okay? This is telling you based off of whatever risk numbers you've set in the settings, I'm allowed to take 2 contracts or 10 contracts if it's like a micro, right? That's what this information is telling you. That dotted line in the middle is just telling you the 50% mark. So it's just telling you 50% of that. That's all it's doing.
Your lot size also shows 0 contracts when your risk is exceeded, correct?
Yes. So if it says 0 and you have typed into the settings that you only want to risk $300, okay, that's a very good indication that you probably should get off of the minis and get onto the micros because there's not enough room on that trade, especially with how we've been trading lately. There's just not enough room on that trade.
Okay. Yeah, okay. But yeah, what you just showed with the buy orders, sell orders, um, that makes a little more sense. Not that the first with the dotted lines didn't, I would like to say that was just a line of demarcation that's basically between them.
And if this is messing you up, so one guy said it's messing him up. If that's you, cool. I gotcha. Uh, if it's messing you up, here comes that cell.
No, it's not necessarily messing me up. It's just you clarified it. I can get in at the halfway mark when it closed beneath that, but it's my choice. In other words, I'm saying that would be the safer would be once it passed the sell line, correct?
Yeah, so this is YM. I think YM was pretty smooth this morning, a little more smooth than the other instruments. So this is the 2 minute. It's the actual time frame we trade, right?
Right.
So that's the 2 minute right there. Cool. That's the length of the distance of the candle. We form this candle, the candle closes, this is now stable, okay? We form a bearish candle, we close below 50%. If we're being completely aggressive, sure, we can take entries based off of that if those are our rules. I personally don't have rules like that, and I don't think rules like that would be sufficient long term. Almost anything can work at any given time. Like on the right day, almost anything can work. So we're not marking anything out for a second, but the way I'm entering is when price breaks below this level, okay, I want to be entering. So we technically wick down below twice and come back up. So this is, we're going into drawdown, but we come down. This is the 2 minute. We haven't even hit one range of the target to kind of give you an idea. So back to the annotate. So we would have entered here. So this is our sell limit. Our sell order would have activated here. Okay. Take profit. If it was all the way down here, hasn't got touched yet. If you were using 50%, it did. Okay. Now we come back up and retest 50% and we're respecting that 50% level. I would consider if we've broken out of the box, so we've extended beyond it. I don't mean like a wick. I mean like we've had extension. We've actually formed movement away. So I'm drawing this line lots of times. So actual movement away, okay? And then we come up to retest 50% of that line, then I would consider a sell order here. That's how I would use it, okay? Right now we're staying below 50% of the opening bell range, so I'm still definitely mostly looking for sells in terms of YM until we get above this and then maybe close above this. I'm not even considering the buys yet. So that I use it like that, but I also use it in terms of a potential stop loss. So clearing all drawings. Today's a choppy day. There's just no way around that. But a lot of times, since we're really only looking for a micro move, if price is moving away, okay, I just want to capitalize on as much of this as I can, locking as much and as quick as I can, and then I'm out. But if I'm wrong on the direction, okay, or if the breakout is wrong on the direction, and it comes back up and it's starting to close above, I mean, full body candle closes, not wicks, okay, above the 50% range, I can decide, hey, I'm going to close my trade and be a little bit safer because I don't like the way it's closing. Because the truth is, like, if we got a candle like this bullish momentum candle closing above this 50% portion, it's telling me I'm probably wrong on the direction, right? And it doesn't matter. Like, so either way, if I'm gonna get knocked out on a stop loss, I'd rather get out here when possible than here.
So would your entry have been after the close of this candle here?
No, if I was using, so anybody who's using pending orders, sell orders, one of these two candles would have activated those. If I was taking a breakout, and again, hindsight's always 2020. We're all back tested billionaires. But when this candle was forming, this looked like an aggressive bearish candle. Okay, that's what this one looked like at the time. It was right here. And then it closed back up and pushed up to form the wick. This too would have looked like an aggressive bearish candle in real time. Okay. Of course, it pushed back up. Okay. We had no way of knowing in real time that that's what was happening. So can you wait for the close? Yes. And on a day like today, that's awesome. But on other days, so clear all drawings, close my annotate. On other days, I don't know how many breakout sessions I have scheduled for this. If I waited for the close, this is a good example of just chop, 2 minute. So it would have saved me here. I would have got in here, not really enough to make, I don't even know if I would have protected, but had I got in here literally at the break and I saw this price action, I'm protected at least by the time I get here. Again, same story. If I waited for the close, if I just got in, I made pretty much that whole range. If I waited for the close, I've made less. And this is YM. This isn't even the instrument we trade, but just using it for conversation purposes.
So you're basically saying you're waiting for the break and just put your stop loss above the halfway point in case it wicks back up past that, and then just let it go at your whatever your take profit is.
I'm entering at the break of this candle. I'm targeting that 1R range, and my stop loss is on the other side of that range. That's how I'm doing it. So I have my physical stop loss, back to the annotate, my physical stop loss is on the other side of the range, but my mental stop loss, okay, is at that 50% mark. So I want to see what price is doing. If we form this nice bullish candle and we come down with a nice strong wick, I don't want to get out. We had a nice wick. Okay, nope, I'm not getting out. Now we come down here, we start forming bearish full body candles. I'm a little bit nervous, okay? So I have a mental stop at this 50% mark. That's my mental stop level. My physical stop level, in case we have one of those crazy candles that just whips around and knocks everyone to pieces, my physical stop loss is on the other side of that range by a few ticks.
Okay, well, that's exactly what I needed to hear. You have a physical and you have a mental stop loss, but if you're actually going to put your hard stop loss, it's going to be not at the halfway point, but at at the, like you said, that level right there. I got you. Thank
Just
you.
to, you're welcome. Just kind of breaking all this down for you guys to hopefully help us all understand it a little bit better. And look, this morning on ES was a great example. So ES price action was not great. And I was very fortunate because I didn't drop that protection just yet. I almost did. I would have got knocked out a couple of times, but here we go. We close. We break out somewhere in here. And what happens next? We've got a wick to the downside. That's very, very frustrating. That's very like, oh, I might be wrong on the direction. I'm trying to not show what we've seen. So we're in, again, it looks bearish. So at this next candle, we pull down like we're winning and then all the way back up. But we closed with the wick. Okay. Depending on how this candle closed, I might have gotten out. Okay. My stop loss was up here a little bit ish. Then, of course, we get into here. I'm like, okay, we need to protect, but we're still having a wick below this 50% mark. Cool. Now we get down into here. We're trying to break below, but again, there's just a wick to the downside. Doji, nothing all that great. And then it's into here where this candle bounced around. I mean, this was live price action. I think we have this on video. I'm waiting to drag my stop loss into profit, but it was bouncing. And I finally did, and we got this move. So not all the time is that going to work well. But we knew we knew it made a very pretty big move that we wanted to do our best not to get knocked around in. And on this day, particularly, that's the lowest it went on the day. So we caught the best part of that. Now, I didn't catch the best part of that on gold, obviously. Look at that. Holy cow. Look at that. Holy, look at this baby. And I even caught a baby part of this baby. Better get all this move. That's wild. But just it's practice. What I told a couple of other people that I'm working with is for a few weeks, even just use a micro. Use a micro. The goal is not to make money. The goal is to get to 55% accuracy for now. It's not even to get to 60 or 70 yet. Because again, trying to get the accuracy is why everyone's making dumb decisions. For now, focus on the process, right? Focus on I know how to enter when I'm in. I know what I'm going to do once I'm in. I know where I'm going to put my stop and how I'm going to manage my stop. I know how I'm going to try to get more profits when possible without breaking the rules and how to avoid losses, like all the things. Like I know what I'm going to do. Focus on that for 3 to 4 weeks and then come in trying to make the big money. So you really only need, I mean, if you're going to mirror them, fine, get a couple of Apex accounts. They're pretty inexpensive, but you really only need one account, or maybe you're mirroring 3 really inexpensive accounts. Okay. And now I have one take profit account. I'm only keeping with one for right now over there because I'm going to figure out the stupid Ninja Trader thing. I'll activate some more maybe. Today's the 20th. I don't know, maybe before the end of this month. But in my perfect world, I want a lot of accounts. But for most people, we don't need that. For now, just do literally 1 to 3 maybe accounts on Apex because they're really inexpensive. If you're pretty good, by all means, do more on Take Profit Trader. But seriously, one micro, one trade, get good at the process for 3 to 4 weeks, and then come in with okay, I'm going to take 2 or 3 micros, or I'm going to take a mini. But the process, I think, is still eluding a lot of people. So that's not a good way to be. We want the process to be really seamless. We want the process to be clear and simple of what we're doing.
Right. You want us to get used to utilizing the indicator the right way. Now, Jenny, one day can you actually, even if I get 3 accounts and want to connect them, could you one day after you do your trading, maybe go a little bit more to detail how to connect those 1 or 2 accounts or mirror them, as you would say?
Wait, so are you going to be using
I mean,
Apex? You're going to go get what? 3
no,
Apex?
I'm gonna do what you say. I'm gonna make sure I'm following your protocol. I'm gonna use the get all Apex if probably I'm not probably, but I'm gonna be getting Tradovate. Say if I get 2 or 3 accounts, I just want to make sure if I do that, I can utilize it fully by being able to mirror them rather than try to trade all 3 of them at the same time.
Gotcha. Okay, absolutely. So you go get three accounts and I will help you link them. Are you going to try to link them on Take Profit? Oh, sorry, on Tradovate or on Ninja?
Um, I could do both, couldn't I, if I decide?
You
If-
could, but Ninja requires a third party service. So, like I talked about on what is it, Thursday of last week, I talked about it for probably 10 minutes. Each one of these have pros and cons, okay? The trade copier on Tradovate is seamless. It makes no mistakes. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's awesome. However, you can't use the ATM. You can't use like the trailing stop and the stop loss and the take profit that automatically disappear when the trade closes, right? That those orders automatically go away, which is what I like about it, right?
Okay.
So you can't do that if you do the trade copier on Tradovate, but you can do that if you use the trade copier via Ninja Trader, but that takes a third party service.
When you
And then
said third-party services, that mean I need to be able to get data through that? So what do you mean by that?
no, it means you need Replicanto or you need affordable indicators. You need one of those two things, or the Apex copier. You need one
Or
of those three things.
and
It's
the
an
other thing that I was investigating the trade saver, what I might be able to do with that if I can incorporate it into there. You just need something else other than just you'll need something to be able to do the trades, right? Through Ninja Trader, the
um
third party.
I don't know what the trade saver is, so I'm sorry, I can't answer that
Right,
question.
no, that was what I put in your DM. But in any case,
Okay, gotcha. Well, I'll check that out and then I can answer that question, but I just know you need some kind of form of a copier to be able to accomplish that goal.
okay, okay. So for now, until we figure out the trade aid and the it's called yeah, and then I'll just go with the Trader 8 until I can figure out the third party thing with Ninja. I'm gonna go with what we know right now.
Deal, deal. And it's not hard at all to create the copier on Tradovate, but just make sure you're only doing micros. Just again, the goal is not to make money at first. The goal is to understand it first. The goal is to understand the process to get good at the stuff that goes into it and then make money.
Right, I got you. I can do that. Like, patience is a virtue.
That's what I hear. I hear it over and over. I tell myself that too sometimes. Not often enough, I think.
We all do. But thank you for that, Jenny. Yeah, when I'll how do you want me? Because I know you just said earlier you don't do your DMs much. You want me to just drop a message in the general chat that I've got, which
Yeah.
comes and we can go
Yep.
from there.
Yep. Tag me in the public group and I'll know to go check
Okay,
public or the members group. And then I will go check and we'll do it maybe on Thursday after class. So
okay.
deal. But
Thank you.
hey, just do me a favor. Until you're at the point where you're doing pretty good, I want you to try your best to promise me not to be buying more than like 3 Apex accounts,
Oh no, I don't have it like
Okay.
that. So I
Okay.
won't.
Like,
I'm not built like you yet, Jenny. So no, I'll definitely be conservative. I just want to make sure that whatever I get above 2 accounts, that I'll be able to link them. Yeah, I'm not gonna be crazy greedy.
deal. Not at
But
first.
thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I've got, I think, 30 some odd accounts linked to Ninja Trader right now, but I'm just testing things, guys. So I promise that's not it's not a flex. If anything, it's a stupid thing. I'm just trying to get quite a few things to work. So Take Profit Trader is my main thing. I just closed out of a couple of big things over there. Got one new account running. And other than that, they're all Apex and then 3 other places that are up for grabs. We'll see. We'll see.
And
We'll see.
that indicator is called the Predator, but it's through the guy's Saber Trader. So I wanted to clarify that. But
All
yeah,
right.
I'm gonna look into it more because, like I said, hopefully we can, once you look at it, you may be able to see we better use that as a third party for me with Ninja Trader. But in any case, moving on. Thank you, Jenny.
No, thank you. All right,
All right,
guys.
guys.
Thank you for that echo. I think that was Crypto Sissy. Who has another question trading related? If you need help with like some of the stuff for MT4, MT5 or connections, Tradovate or Trading View, not Tradovate, but Trading View, that's a great meeting for Joe because otherwise we don't get to actual like trading lessons and conversation in the class. So, David, how you doing,
Yes, I
David?
do. Okay, so on the breakout indicator, Josh and I were looking at this last night, and I don't know what it is. So, looking at gold, and there is a dotted line. It's a dark dotted line, and it's at 3232. What is that?
This right here,
Yes.
that's yesterday's close.
Okay.
I was like, what are you talking about? This template that you guys got from me, for those of you who have access to it, it's free, it's in the Discord. I have a few things on here. The yesterday's close is a setting that you find here in your settings. I think it's this one, previous day close. That's what that is.
Okay.
It's
All right.
I think it's
Thank
really
you.
cool because, you know, you're welcome. I think it's really cool because it helps you stay kind of in the right direction. So we're right now on gold, we're above yesterday's close. So we're still bullish, which we kind of knew at the beginning of the day, not to say that, you know, it always works that perfectly because God knows it doesn't. But look at that. Man, the indices are still just taking off. If we go to now Bitcoin, we're sitting above. So everyone was big on calling all the sells, but right now we're sitting above. So if you're just talking about scalping and trading on the day, this is probably sitting, oh, we're still sitting below. But big bullish candle right now. So this is yesterday's close. That's where we closed in yesterday's price action. So overnight we had a little bit of a downside move, 2 more wicks to the upside. I think we're going to come grab some of this liquidity, either finish filling this 1 hour gap or take the actual highs before we move. This was a level we marked up last week, so it'll be interesting to see, without a doubt. Will definitely be interesting to see. But I love that level. Very, very helpful. All right, next question. I want everybody to be super clear on the breakout. Remember, pending orders are not required. Some people are having a lot of success with doing that, and by all means, you do you. But in this case, look, we wick up. You still want to be looking a little bit at a price action. So that's the 2-minute time frame. Even if we go to the 5-minute time frame, you're still going to be pretty choppy today. We chopped up, we chopped down, we hit target a couple of times, and now we're moving up. So right now we've got every reason to be looking for the scalp buy, but I want to fill this area to buy up first. So we just took out all those lows, and then here we go. We'll see what we get here. We will definitely see. Okay, any other questions trading related? We caught our 2 trades. Unfortunately, gold was the real banger on the day. As you guys saw, I didn't capitalize too much on it. ES was the better trade, at least for me in terms of capitalizing. And it was actually copied between all the accounts, so that's good. Baby steps as always. And
Can
yeah,
I ask something?
absolutely.
Hello. How are you?
Fantastic.
Bravo, bravo. When you are ready to take the trade, where must be the positions of the indicators, the VWAP and the EMAs? In some examples, when you were ready to get in the trade.
So in general, if you're trading on the right direction of the VWAP, that's considered the way to use that tool. Like, so if you're below the VWAP, you're looking for sells. If you're above the VWAP, you're looking for buys. It's
The
that
VWAP must be above the EMAs, like here.
no. So the VWAP in relation to the EMAs is not the topic. The price in relation to the VWAP is the topic. So if you have the VWAP on here, if you're above the VWAP, you're looking for buys. If candles are above the VWAP, you're looking for reasons to buy. If you're below the VWAP, you're looking for reasons to sell. Like, that's how that works. And the same really is true for, you know, if you're combining this with JGS, or if you're how do you say, you know, doing confluence, kind of like what I did this morning. Because remember, JGS would have you selling here. This is the retest. It would have you selling here. It would have you selling here, okay, at this candle. Like, this is a sell. This is, oh, let me use my annotate again. So JGS would have you selling somewhere in any of these candles. It would have you selling on this candle or any of those 2 candles. It would have you
What
selling.
is the JGS?
That's the strategy with the moving averages. So it'd have us selling here, here, here. This would be an entry. That would be an entry. That would be an entry. This doesn't actually come to kind of test this area, so not as much of an entry there. But I mean, it depends on how tight you're being. And even this one right here, which would inevitably probably lose unless you protected it incredibly quickly.
You mean we sell here when we weak the EMAs?
Well, because this right here, so as this candle closes, this had retested that area. So we would have 1, 2, 3, 4 entries, okay, by JGS, 4 entries, and 3 win, 1 lose. So how can you use this breakout in conjunction with the EMAs? It's you're trying to be on the right side of it. That's all. So right now we're moving to the downside. We're trying to look for sells. If of course we break above and retest, you need the retest. That's very important. We'd be looking for buys. And it's really the
To
same.
test the EMAs, no the VWAP.
The EMAs, I think, and the VWAP would be both very comparable. So you'd be trying to retest both of those.
We're waiting to retest the EMAs too.
Yeah, on the 1 minute time frame, yeah, Tradovate's just bouncing all kinds of wild. This looks smooth in comparison. Tradovate looks like this right now. For me, yeah, I'd be trying to come
5
down and
minutes.
test this.
Mm.
And we're in a pretty big range. And most importantly, we already got our trades on the day. Like, so we got the trades we needed on the day for the most part. So that's the hardest part, I think, is to say, hey, wait, I made the money I needed to make, and now I'm done. Because once we perfect that, and even with the stuff I'm testing on NinjaTrader, once we perfect the, hey, I took the trades and are done, remember, it might be $60 today. But if you perfect that habit in 3 months, that's 600, and in 6 months, that's 6,000. But people are trying to get to the $6,000 mark now. The habits aren't there yet. So you've got your trades on the day, you're done. If you really need another one, we wait for the retest of this middle line. So here, I'll use annotate again.
They are the AMAs are 21, and what else? I don't remember.
Watch. Look at for some confluence. If we retest that middle line and stay above, if we retest this 20 moving average, that's another piece of confluence. Okay. We have this big engulfing candle. That's 1. Retest of the middle line. That's 2. Retest of the EMA. That's 3. Breakout. Okay. That's 4. So we'd be looking for all of those pieces of information. Retest this trend line. That's 5. So all of that stuff lined up. Yeah. You've got a great trade coming in.
Jenny,
Okay.
can you show us the exact VWAP that you have? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, totally. Remember, I'm very admittedly, I think that they all look a little different on different platforms. I don't care what anybody says. And
Yeah, they do.
I don't understand why no one's talking about it. Like, I just feel like people should be talking about it. They're like, I trust the VWAP. I'm like, I do not, because it does not function as it's not the same. So your device and my device, it's not the exact same. Even the same settings, it's not the same. And that's a big deal. Like if you're trusting it to go make a $6,000 trade, it's a big deal. It matters, guys. But this is about how it looks. I'm using the high-low close 3. And you'll notice that other platforms like Tradovate might have it look like HLC3. So it doesn't look exactly the same, but it is the same. Let me go up to my template list. I'm going to go to, that's templates, chart settings.
Yeah, so in the indicator list, which one did you pick?
The one that's highlighted white. Oh, God. I was like, the one that's highlighted white. Do we? So you want to know which one this is?
Mhm.
Okay. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So about this script, you're looking for this one.
Should be the first one on the list.
Yeah, it's this one's pretty standard. So
I would like to know which cloud EMA you're using.
Okay, let's see. Let's do it to it. I just closed something on my Tradovate. So the cloud, this one's kind of hard to find. So you have to actually type it in properly. You have to type in moving average cloud or it's not going to come up. And this is weird, but it's made by, that's the name. Park it sideways. So that's that one. I just like it. The only reason I put the ribbon on the NinjaTrader view is because I didn't want to add a bunch of stuff and I'm not that comfortable with NinjaTrader, but I didn't want the single EMA. So, or the single SMA in my case. I just wanted something with a little bit more girth to kind of help me stay out of moments like this, right? Because if I just put the 20 SMA on here, it might look like we have this nice bearish candle that's breaking and closing below. Very tempting. But when I have the cloud, it's a little bit wider. Now, if I wanted to be a little bit more aggressive with that cloud, I don't know why this is such a pain. I loathe this.
What are the settings for this?
I will
Please.
share it. And all that stuff should be in that template too, guys. So right now I'm using the 19 and 21, and I just got it as white. It's SMA. Got a slightly different color when it's moving down versus moving up. And on my personal template, I have this internal part turned purple and then this internal part turned green. It just helps me to see it a little clearly. If I wanted to make it a little thicker, you guys can see kind of what that price action looks like, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I could extend it a little bit further. 18, 22, kind of show you what that looks like. Now it's a little bit thicker, right? And say, nope, I want it a little bit closer to price. 17. So you guys have got options. You can make it as thick or as thin as you want to make it. I'm happy with that. I also have my 8 moving average turned into a cloud as well. I like it. It's kind of like the ribbon concept, that's all.
8, you said the pink line.
So this right here is the 8. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on this
Thank
screen,
you.
yeah, I didn't want to take away from what we're doing, so I didn't put it on this. This is just an 8 moving average. And there's that move down. All the way target would be for 21,405. Easy peasy. You can turn this one off. Got our 2 trades on the day. So now we've retested that moving average on the 2-minute time frame. We've got a little bit more room down to maybe give this enough space to come to 404, 403. As long as we're staying kind of above this candle, you'd look for your confirmations to buy. But if not, if we're closing and staying below these levels, not only is that below the range, but we don't have a reason to be looking for that sell anymore. So if I pop up a time frame, all we're doing is headed back into that box. We knew we wanted something. But man, oh man, that's quite the sell down. Only 1 minute left on this candle, so it's likely going to close. 21,409. We're pushing past pre-market low. That's pre-market low. But there's the wick, so we're forming the wick. I'd like to see a much more aggressive wick than that. If we were really going to start headed back up, I'd want to see that to close as an aggressive wick on this 15-minute time frame. That's a 15-minute time frame. We only have 40 seconds left. 40 seconds, let's see. It's not giving really good confirmation that, okay, now you're trying to buy. Because again, all this on the bigger time frame, all we did was retest that VWAP, retest that opening range, retest that 20-minute moving average. So this is not giving us big indication that it's turnaround time. We did swing that low, which is awesome. I would have probably been looking for a bigger pullback than that. But we're selling. We're for real selling down. So no, that's just confirmation that we're selling. Still respecting that range though. I mean, we've got, we just kind of closed. If we close below this area, we're not getting that bigger move to the upside. That's strong. 14 minutes left on that candle though. 5 minute. That's it. Only got 2. So we really haven't moved anywhere for opening bell. Not on these at least. On gold, yeah. But not so much on NQ. Not at all. Gold is looking kind of toppy though. Very, very toppy. Man, that pushed all the way back up. All right. Thank you so much, Sonia. Anybody else have any questions in terms of the strategy or anything that I can help you with trading wise, or an instrument you guys want to go look at, a symbol, pair, whatever you guys are calling it? The person who mentioned options, if you want to come out one day this week or next week or whatever and just hang out and talk about it, I'm 100% open to that. 100% open to that.
Hey, Jenny, I mentioned
Hey, Jenny.
on Mr. P's Zoom, he was talking about referrals. He said to talk to you about it. How do we do that?
I don't know. He hasn't talked to me about it yet.
Okay, all right, okay.
I don't know if he's gonna do that or not. I don't know what that would look like if he did.
Yeah, he said get 3 a month and yours is free or something like that. But I asked him for the link and he told me ask you during the training during the day. So okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have no idea what that's about. I literally don't even have a login to Futrix yet, so I literally don't. I need to probably solve that, but as of right now, I have 0% idea. Zero idea.
All right. Okay.
Okay. No, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And remember anything that, so whatever company, like wherever you send your payments to, okay, if you have questions regarding that, make sure you go to the support in that email or the support in, you know, for whatever you're kind of coming in through. But Anthony, what is your question?
Hey, Jenny, how are you?
Fantastic. Look at NQ, man, it's pushing up. How you doing? Did you have a question? Or want to talk about anything? Maybe.
I think he muted himself and didn't know it.
Well, he's still unmuted. I'll wait for you for a little while. I'll wait for you. Like a country song. A really good country song, maybe. Anthony, honey, are you there? I'll give you a couple more minutes to see if you pop back in because you're still you're unmuted. Well,
Why are you eating, Jenny? What are those
hey,
arbors?
JD, honey, I'm sorry. Can you give me 1 second? Let me talk to Anthony for a second, okay? He was trying to.
Why are you waiting?
No, you're
Hey,
okay.
can you hear me?
There you go. Now I hear. I saw your microphone
okay,
pop in and out as he was coming in and out too.
Yeah. Question I have for you is since the majority of people seem to be using either Tradovate or NinjaTrader. Tradovate seems to be the front runner as far as copy trading with take profit, even though you cannot do the bracket orders. The biggest thing that I've found trying to do research out there and find information on how to do these orders, there's a lot of information for the DOM, and the DOM in itself can be super confusing to use, but I don't see a lot of information for setting up orders on directly on the chart for Tradovate. And if you look at Tradovate, when you go to set up your orders directly on the chart, it's a little bit different from naturally, Trading View or NinjaTrader. And I don't know if you could maybe go through that a little bit of that, or maybe at some point create a video, a small short video on how to do that on the chart for Tradovate.
On Tradovate, but I want to make sure I understood correctly because we got all these T words and we're all bouncing around them. I know I am. So you want to know how to place orders on Tradovate, how to trade on Tradovate.
Right, because the way I've been doing it right now is I have two take profit trader accounts, and I know you cannot you can't set up bracket orders on Tradovate if you're copying them. So yep. I'm having to sit there manually and enter and exit, and sometimes I'm just not comfortable with doing that. Because as you know, price can just, you can be watching it and have your finger on the trigger and price just jumps. So I would like to know how to use. I kind of understand the DOM a little bit, and I'm not really comfortable with it, but I haven't found any clear videos that explain how to place orders on the Tradovate charts.
Okay, so I can help you. Well, we can make a clear video on that, or we can go over it in class. It's 11 o'clock now, so I'll either do it tonight, or I'll make you a video, or we'll do it on Thursday. That's to take the orders. But I will say again that the reason why I'm pursuing so much off of all of these things is because, like you, I don't want to place an, especially not with, I'm going to call it the Trump, don't blink, the Trump's blink issues. Because at this point, it is, you're in a trade and you blink and it is catastrophic if you're on, that many accounts. Like it's awful. So I want my bracket orders for a whole host of reasons, just like you. So I can help you. We'll just trade. I have got one eval account on one of these brokers. It's one, so it's simple. It's not a lot to share on screen. And we'll just take some minis together, or not minis, micros together, and I'll show you what exactly I'm doing and kind of go over how to do this without the DOM, because I don't use the DOM. That's something we can do. But just so you know, I have no solution to make a bracket on copy trading for the Tradovate. If I did, I'd be the first to share it. I don't have
No,
that.
yeah, I know. There's really no solution for a bracket for copy trading, but at least it seems to be simpler if you can actually place your buy stops and all of your your take profits, all of that on the chart. And like I said, I've done some YouTube searching to try to find that, and there's a lot of stuff on the DOM, but not much on the on chart. And I know, I go out there and I select the chart and it'll pop up a line with your buy sells and so on and so forth, but I'm just not sure.
No, you got it. I hear your voice. Hold on. I'm moving a sticky note. I'm gonna grab a different pen. I tried to get stopped with sticky notes, you guys, and then I brought them back. Toxic trait number one. So, any other questions like that? How to take orders on Tradovate? Got it. Anything else that you haven't found or really need and that I can kind of help with?
No, that's pretty much it. And what, just a side note, I don't know how many others do this, but I tend to like to take my trades at the break of a candle at the top or the bottom, and there is a order entry panel for NinjaTrader that'll allow you to do that, where you can actually click of a button. It will set your order at the top or the bottom of a candle, and there is a free version of it that you can actually get on TradeSaver.
TradeSaver, okay. So check out TradeSaver. Because I'm guessing that's a duplication or a version of Affordable Indicators version of that. So check in.
It may be. There's another one out. There's another company out there. I think called Trade Devil, and they charge like $400 or $500 for the thing. And I think TradeSaver does have their own paid version, but the free version works really well for what you need it for. And that was a big thing with me is I couldn't get it on Tradovate. I couldn't get it in TradingView, but NinjaTrader, with that, I can actually, just hit the button and it'll put my orders at the top or the bottom of the candles.
Okay.
There's a lot of other features built into that order entry panel as well.
But you don't like to just drag it there. You want it to, are you trying to automate something, or why is, because I feel like in theory it would be as simple as taking the line and just dragging it here, right? On NinjaTrader?
No, it's an actual panel that sits there, and it has a button that says buy up or buy down. So as you can actually, as your candle closes, if you want to buy the top, the high or the low, you hit either buy up or buy down, and it will place your order at the top or the bottom of that candle. Now, if it doesn't hit the top or bottom of that candle, and it goes to a new candle, and the new candle, goes to another candle, it'll move it to the top or the bottom of the next candle.
Okay, so wait, help me understand. So let's say we were talking about this particular instrument, and I know that we're going to come back in, fill this imbalance, the fair value gap, whatever. I'm very confident, plus we're down on the day, blah, blah, blah. So I want to sell. If I click what, it's going to make me, it'll say,
If you click buy up, it would put your order at the high of that candle right
so
there.
It's going to put a buy at the breakout of this candle.
That's correct. And you can actually set an offset. If you want to offset it by a tick, you can offset it by a tick. If you want to offset it by 5 ticks, you can offset it by 5 ticks.
So it's a breakout. It's the breakout of that candle. So if I hit sell down,
it does the same thing. It'll sell at the low of that candle, plus whatever your offset is.
Okay, so how familiar are you with my JGS?
I remember the original JGS. I think the one that had the double MACD.
Yep. Okay. So let's use that as an example. So this is gold. So now you've got me geeking out, and then I see the other hands raised. I promise. We're just hanging out at this point. I will get to them, but this is a fun part of trading. So here we go. We're pulling up a little bit. Whatever. We've got our breakout, break back down, retest. This is an entry. If I double click the MACD, cool. We've got 2 bars below. This is literally a JGS entry. So this is where we're at. I'm trying to sell. I don't want to sell until we get beyond this candle. I could click anywhere in either of these 2 candles and say sell at the low. And it will
you could select, and you'd select the button buy down or buy low, and it will put that order at the low of that candle.
Wait, I'm gonna hit buy low or sell low?
I'm sorry, sell low. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay because
sell down.
Okay. So sell down. That's freaking, like, wait, excuse my friends. That's freaking awesome, because think about what we're doing with the breakout strategy. Think about JGS, which again, people have made literally 6 and close to 7 figures with that strategy, like verifiably. So awesome. But the thing that people get wrong is they see it and they just take it and then it goes against them, right? In this case, this would be a fair loss if you got in too early, but not there. So no entry just yet there. But if they waited till they got the continuation beyond that, they have the more confirmed move. Same thing with the breakout. So I know one of the people I'm working with keeps sending me screenshots of like they're getting barely tapped in, but if they wait to the extension a little bit, so like buy at the break plus buffer, that's freaking awesome. I would play with that. But okay, wait, last question for you, and then I promise I'll answer the other 2 people in the chat. I'm so sorry. Are you mirroring between a lot of different brokers? Because every time I try to mirror on NinjaTrader, I'm blowing up everything. And the problem is it's not one mistake, it's like a handful of mistakes. It'll go the opposite direction, it'll take the wrong size, and then it creates all those ghost orders, and then I don't even know. So like what was it? Last week.
Well,
it did all those things and they told me the reason is because I was taking the trades on NinjaTrader. That if I didn't take them on NinjaTrader, I wouldn't have those problems.
I don't think I I'm completely convinced of that, because I think it's happening across all platforms at some point somewhere. I don't understand when you're mirroring. I don't know what it is. I've had it happen to me, and of course on TradingView, I've had it happen to me on Tradovate. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've used at first I thought it was copiers. They're of course I like the affordable indicators copier better. I haven't used it as much. I had the Apex copier. I will advise not to use that. The I had some issues with not being able to orders not closing. It's selecting which ones to close. And support was not helpful with that. And I've heard some other people complain about the Apex copier. I don't have a real answer for why these orders are ghosting around like this. I don't know.
Yeah, I made so many mistakes last week and I was like, okay, I'm done with that trial. On to the next week. Because I can't. You're right, though. It happens whether it's TradingView. It does happen to an extent, but I do feel like whatever the issue is with copying this many accounts, the extent is astronomically higher. Like, and when you're taking the trade on Tradovate, on trading, sorry, look at all the words, Ninja Trader, it's a lot. So I'm just trying to solve whatever next problem I can solve and, stay afloat. So, but let me
I
know.
think the best thing to do, I think, at this point, because it does do this, is find a copier that will allow you to kind of manage it from the copier. If you're going to trade from different brokers, and you're gonna be copying, just that you can manage from that copier, and it gives you a lot of information so that you can kind of watch it and see what's happening. With these different accounts, because like I said, sometimes when I use the other one, I won't use it anymore, the Apex, it would close certain ones and it would leave certain ones open, and it would just create ghosting orders. They would just show up, and so
And the other problem is, like, you can't, some of the times when that happens, you can't even close them. So like I had orders open, I wasn't even able to close them last week. Like I couldn't on any platform. I couldn't close them on Tradovate. I literally couldn't reconcile the situation. I was like, okay, well, this is a whole nother level of suck, but
that happened to me too. I couldn't close out, and I blew a couple of accounts like that.
Yeah, it's so much fun, but I'm gonna figure it out. So, I will check into Trade Saver though. I don't know that I want to move back to trying to take orders on Ninja, but I'd love it to work if it would just work. But if it doesn't work, I can't get it. I can't do it. So. But okay, I will make that video as well, or we'll talk about it tonight during our free public one. But Corey, come on out. You were next, and then Miss Breaka.
Hello.
Sorry. Anyway, hi Corey.
All right. Hey, I wanted to ask anybody if they know a place where you can sharpen up your skills with the market analysis. Any books or anything that I can look up?
Like market. Wait, hold on. Market analysis.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on.
like market structure and stuff like that.
Technical Analysis Financial Markets by Murphy.
Okay.
It's a huge book. Buy that book. If you're gonna
Okay.
honestly buy a book where you can see that stuff, of
Yeah,
course.
that's
Can you
I
say the
think
name again, Jenny?
Yeah, hold on. Let me turn my chair around. Okay.
let
It's
me grab
called.
a pencil, Jenny, real quick.
So it's by John Murphy. Okay. From the New York Institute. To the best of my ability, I don't know of any book better.
Okay.
But this book is called The Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. And when you open it up, okay, it goes
Okay.
over a lot of the things that people are defining as new and are viral. You either love or hate, ICT and SMT and all the things. But this covers all of that, okay? All of the same concepts. It just does so in the original way, not the, hey, I rebranded it and sold it as something new way. So, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets by John J. Murphy. It's a thick book. She's thick, guys. Thick. And then, hold on. If we're doing book recommendations, hold on. Obviously, Trading the Zone, Mark Douglas. The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler, Tendler. Okay, that's a really good one. Hold on. There's a book I highly recommend that I think is super, it's not trading related, but it's called Same as Ever. Okay. I think that book gives you more of a comprehensive understanding on risk than any of the books on risk. Okay. I just think it breaks down thought processes in a way that is beautiful. So like if you've read the book, Everything I Learned in Kindergarten, Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten, it's written in that way. It's got a lot of short stories that kind of just prove a singular point. But check it out. I think that book, mindset wise, amazing. The Failure of Risk Management kind of sucks. Um, The Signals and the Noise is very good. That's by Nate Silver. I'm just checking all the books behind me. And this is, I have so many books and audiobooks too. So many books. But that's a good start. I have probably 100 others that I could think of, but those are good, a good start.
Okay, that's the name of that first one was called Technical Analysis
Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets by John J. Murphy.
by John James. Okay. Thank you so much, Jenny. I
You
just
are
feel
welcome.
that if I can get that down pat, I'll be a much more stronger trader.
Well, like I don't want to say something that conflicts that. I think I'm of the mindset of if people got their emotions in check, that's the hard part. It's not literally it is not the strategy. It is not even the comprehension of fair value gaps or financial analysis or fundamentals or even Trump, God forbid, although I really want to blame a lot of him right now. Um, the truth is, I think if the emotional part that's making you take the bad trade, the FOMO, the fear, the not dealing with the emotions, it's that part that's really just it's changing the behaviors you're making. The strategy has an edge enough. You're getting 50 to 60%, depending on your risk to reward. That's already a profitable strategy. The rest is the noise, it's the emotions, it's the stuff that goes in between, and that's where people are failing. That's
I'll
where
look
it
some
is.
of these books up and see if I can buy a couple of them.
Hey, we'll do a book giveaway in 6FTC. How about that? But the one I just mentioned, The Mental Game of Trading, read that book.
Yes.
And then,
Okay.
of course, Mark Douglas is in the zone. Those two books help with psychology more than they do anything else.
Okay.
Okay, last question, Miss Breakout, come on out.
Hello, hi everyone. So, not necessarily a question. I am excited about the stuff that's coming. Guys, just make sure you're in the Discord because stuff will be posted there. That's all I'll say. And I know one of the members has been waiting. Several of the members have been waiting for some stuff for a while. So just keep posting in the Discord. So I just wanted to share something just from a personal experience I had recently. Very short version of the story. I have two cell phones. One I use for personal stuff, with the other one I use for work stuff. So all my work stuff was on it. An Uber driver decided that he was going to keep my cell phone once I left it in his car, which is, whatever. So I had to buy a new cell phone and reset up everything. I'm saying this because I don't want anybody else to kind of find themselves in this situation. If you have like two-factor authentication that comes SMS, for most people, it's not going to be a difficult thing if they need to replace their phone. However, if you have like authentication apps and stuff like that on there, and you have it set up a certain way, make sure you have your passwords written down. Make sure because there's some accounts I'm still trying to get access to. So just make sure if you have an authentication app, what I've learned now is to have it on multiple devices, not just on that one device, because you just want to make sure you're able to access everything. So just wanted to share that just from my experience and look at kind of like best practices as of now on YouTube and stuff like that. Because you want to be able to access your stuff just in case something happens. We never know.
No, that's good advice, Breakout, honestly. And I'm sorry you went through all that. I know it's been a heck of a few, just a period of time because it's a mess. It's our whole lives.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thankfully, I'm able to get back into most things, but I had quite a few things tied into one authentication app. And I'm like, okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure I wrote down this password somewhere, and I have been looking for a couple of days trying to figure out where I have written it. Anyway, so just make sure that you're because you don't want to wait until you need it, and that's what I've been finding as I'm doing the research. People are like, oh, by the time people realize that they need to have something backed up, whether it's written down or whether they're using those fobs, those key things or whatever, is after they no longer have access to stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So.
That's one of the reasons why, like, I'm an Apple girl. I've got so many devices that if something happens, I can get into all that stuff. But now if my Apple Cloud thing gets messed up, that's a whole other set of problems. But I've got that protected to the oomph. I got it backed up like by multiple emails just in case like one thing happens. Because when Nathan, a year and a half ago almost now, we had a family tragedy, horrible, and just the devastation that you're going through at the same time, and then also dealing with electronics. It's a mess. It's a mess.
Jenny, I was trying to wait for you to get finished with Anthony. I only had a real quick question about the auras and that pops up on my chart that's green and red. Does those mean reversal?
I'm sorry, can you say again?
I would just ask, I wanted to ask a real quick question about my indicator, the R's, and I got R's pop up green and then R's that pop up red, like a box with an arrow on it. Is that something where it's showing that the candle is reversing on this on the indicator?
I have my, especially a day like today, this is probably a mess, but those are probably your arrows popping up. So like this right here is our red arrows because they're selling, right? This retest level. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna get one on today's, but the retest is probably the one that you're seeing with the box around it. That's telling you we've retested that zone.
Right. Okay. That must be retest. Okay. All right. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate it.
No, you are welcome. You are welcome. Miss Barika, do you have the link for the one-on-one? And I actually, I want to update it too.
I do. I can post it for that individual. I can post it in the chat here, or I can post it if they're on. If they want to, are they on the Discord?
Are you on Discord, Stoner? Nice name, buddy. I'm sorry for calling you Stoner, but that's your name. I'm a little bit of a dork. I'm trying to convince Noah I'm still cool, but because he's the youngest, he doesn't think so. Rosie and Noah still think I'm cool, but I think it's because they're not the youngest. So I don't know what that's about. Don't ask me, guys. Just pray for me, because 15-year-old boys with that much riz, oh my goodness. Oh my word. Okay. Thank you, Stoner. That's right. I am cool. I'm gonna be cool forever. I'm gonna be 27 forever. But gold is looking good, guys. Other than gold, it's just a reversal play, so obviously it's counter trend. Be careful. But we got our two great trades. This one not well managed, but profitable, and that's all we need. Yes, I will do the Tradovate thing. I'll look into Trade Saver, or maybe I'll consider the affordable indicators one if they stop messing up so much. But otherwise, guys, big things, great things. Obviously, if you guys are buying platform challenges, please make sure you use code 6FTC. I'm going to try to build relationships with all of them slowly but surely. I just need to be able to do it at one time because I can't do all of that. So I need NinjaTrader and stuff to work properly, slowly. But we'll see. So happy Tuesday. I'm going live tonight. Any other questions, write them down. Like as you think of them, that's the reason why we're hanging out so long is because like it gives you a chance to talk and hang out. But the trading takes minutes sometimes. So if you have questions, bring them on tonight and I'll drop the Zoom link for anybody who's a member of 6FTC, and then the YouTube will be live and public and free, and you can ask questions there. And happy trading. Take care and God bless.
Thank you so much, Jenny.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Have a wonderful, happy Tuesday.